Hi, I'm Emily Deschanel.
And I'm Carla Gallo.
And this is
Boneheads.
A very special Boneheads.
Like
they used
very
to have those
special
shows back in the day.
Right.
A very special blossom.
Yeah.
This is a very
Well, this
special
is one of
Boneheads.
them.
This is it. We have a very special guest, and she's trying not to laugh.
Cowering.
Which is how I like to think of her
all the time.
Is either laughing or trying not to. And that is Tamara Taylor is in the house.
Cam Saroyan.
I mean...
Camille Saroyan. I didn't realize that.
Cam.
You didn't realize that was our name.
I think I thought you were like Camilla Saroyan.
That would have been nicer, I think.
Ooh.
No, Camille Saroyan.
I think it's
Camille's
just
a pretty
Camille.
name.
Camille Saroyan. I was like, it was someone's relative, you know? That Yeah, because there's always
There's a story.
There's always a story.
There's a story there. And we will get to the bottom
of
We
it.
will.
This
Within
is
this
what
hour.
this podcast is for.
Oh my!
Can we
getting to
do
the
a
bottom.
do a little intro?
I was going to say an embarrassing intro.
Yeah.
Can we
Okay,
embarrass
so
you?
Not only is Tamara a very good friend,
Am I
an
on camera during
amazing.
this?
Yeah.
You might be.
I mean, you might
Get
be.
ready. You might be
be.
seen.
Okay, I'll just be banging
A
the microphone and
beautiful
sweating
person
over.
inside and out, an incredibly talented actor, and was on the show for a million years from season 2, episode 1 until the very end. Tamara started her career doing lots of things, including Party of Five,
Big fan.
City of Angels.
Big fan. Starstruck when I met you.
Oh!
Big Party of 5 fan. I was like, I know exactly who you were.
Wow.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's
wow.
I'm embarrassed to say I did not.
Matthew Fox's
I was
girlfriend.
a big fan because we got to see you audition. Well, we'll get into this. We'll get into
my
this.
gosh.
So, she did that. She did Bones. Fill in anything else if there's anything else to mention, and then I'll talk about what you're doing after
Pre-Bones?
Bones. Yeah,
Where'd you
you
come
did a
from?
commercial.
Where
I
did
did
I
remember
come
you from a
from?
commercial. Your cute
Oh, the
little self with like a pixie
AT&T, the
haircut.
AT&T commercial.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I did know her from that.
That's amazing. Wow. That's going back really far. Like,
Yeah.
pixie cut and combat boots.
A little while before.
A little while before the
Yeah.
show.
Anything else to mention before?
I think that's kind of, I feel like we all popped around. Well, you not
popped
necessarily. I think you just were like, hey, let me get a movie. Let me just.
No, I did guest stars and I did pilots and I did
bit. Like,
Yeah,
I was laughing at like TJ and I's resume is like, like the unrolling of a.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's
I wish.
No, but
I have so few.
You feel
things
like
because
journeyman. We are journeyman.
right.
Like what show haven't I been on is the question. I think that's a shorter answer.
I don't know.
Every show.
Everyone, you did a lot. We've all done
CSI,
Law and Orders.
yeah.
After Bones, Tamara did Law and Order Organized Crime with Chris Maloney. That was really fun. Also Snowfall.
That was fun.
And you have a Ryan Murphy show that's
Coming up.
Super secret Murphy show. coming out
show that I kind
in
of
the
like
fall.
dance around in the background for.
I will see that.
I'll watch you
I'll
dance.
watch you
Yeah,
just
happily.
for you dancing in the background.
Thank you. I feel the love. Okay, is it arm up, arm down, guys?
You can do
Remember
whatever
when we
you
used
like.
to like
What is
who's
it?
got the pockets, who's crossing their arms?
I forgot.
With everyone decide
we would do that
literally
because we'd have to match. First of all, on the show, we'd always have to match like what we did. So
Exactly.
like if we, if we took a glove from here and put it down on another show, it'd be when I put the cigarette up and I light my cigarette or whatever it is.
Exactly.
But in this show, it'd be gloves.
glove
body
continuity was
and-
everything.
And then computers.
Yeah.
But you're right. We would
Everyone
be like, okay,
would-
you
because
have your
once you
hands
do
here.
it, everybody does the same. You realize if
and
someone
you look
caught, you're
around,
like,
damn it.
oh.
Okay, who got the crossed arms first?
Oh,
Okay,
no.
I'll do pockets. And mine was the lean on the desk. I'm going to do the lean on the desk. I'm going to look really boss-like and lean on the desk and really intently stare at the computer screen. Serious, So everyone had their pose. Drop in. Yeah, so I just want to make sure you've got the arm
I forgot that we
up.
would do that. I totally forgot we would do that.
Every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
thing
Oh,
that
you
I
got
feel
the
like
arms crossed.
I like the main memory for me that I'm like I want your brain into you and TJ laughing.
You
was
two
like,
are the
I
best.
have never
It's the
seen
best.
to this day anything like it.
Well, it was not.
What?
It was
Wait,
nuts.
what was it? You two together? What? I mean,
The combination
The
was
combo.
lethal.
Okay.
But I think I was actually watching the Titan on the Tracks, and that was my first episode.
Oh, yes.
And I show up, and we're doing my first scene in Angela's office, and there's that wonderful lady that played the DA, I think, or
oh
something.
yeah, Supak, that woman.
I think so.
Yeah, character. Yeah.
But they had put a light because they were doing Michaela and I's coverage. So Sue's sitting there with a light right
that
And
actress.
that other scene
Yeah.
up on the not in the platform, wherever the
The office,
catwalk,
yeah.
up there. I remember the lights there.
Oh, it was so crazy.
Where we were all in a scene like that.
Yeah.
And the diuretic seagull scene.
Oh my God,
Where,
I'm a diuretic.
and then we're all
seagull
supposed
people.
to like look at each other. Like we couldn't even. The light would be in front of our face, and so like Tamara would have to look at me like that, and I'd have to look at her like
It
that.
was insane. And so for some reason, seeing this woman say, I'm going to put you in jail. And I couldn't see her. And Michaela and I, that was my first outbreak of laughter.
First day didn't take
The
you long.
first day. Well,
First
no,
scene.
first
Episode,
First
yeah.
episode.
And we were just coming back from hiatus. So
Yeah.
it's like a whole thing.
Exactly.
Of like, let's come back and like
So it
try
was
to remember what we do here.
Yeah,
and,
try to
like,
remember these characters, which
yeah.
by the way, you guys, like, it felt like everyone dropped into their characters so effortlessly. Like this
Well,
show.
you did too. You
Bones
walked
was
into that
crazy.
audition. We'll talk
Really?
about that.
Oh my God.
Well, David and I got to be
That's-
in
I
Tamara's
cannot
final
wait.
audition.
I remember
which
you
was
in
just between
rollers with the
her-
producers.
Oh, yes,
and I was
had
like,
my
they
rollers
pulled
in.
you out of hair and
They
makeup.
pulled me out of hair
It was
and
the
makeup.
first time I'd met you.
I forgot that. I had rollers in.
Yep.
Big old Velcro rollers in my
sexy.
hair.
Oh, I loved it.
And yeah, Tamara was between Tamara and this other woman. I don't remember who it was.
I
but
remember they flew her out
they
from New
flew her
York.
out
That's
from New
which
so
York.
always
scary.
that always gives you
It's
like I'm like
always-
this is so
That's
tense
so-
now. This is really serious stuff. Wow.
And it was like you and the casting people and the studio and network people, and it was in a room, and it was just two of you. It was like
Was
a
it
test.
a test?
But it was basically a
test.
It was
test.
before the network though, because you know what was funny? I met the two of you and David.
Okay.
And that was when everyone was the producers were
Yes.
crammed in a room, and it was someone's
Yeah.
office.
Yes.
And then I think it was network finally was in the big building, and it was
Okay.
the big scary room.
Yes.
And I love that I was watching Michaela, and I don't know if you guys have the same experience. Michaela's like, I remember so-and-so and so-and-so was smiling and so-and-so was saying that. I black out.
No, I don't remember any from my
completely
test. I
black
don't.
out, right?
I don't look at them.
At
No,
all.
no.
You kind of
Look
go,
at them.
ha, yeah.
But it's like a
yeah.
blur.
Everything is a blur. I
Yeah,
go
yeah, yeah.
into like a blackout, state.
Yeah.
And I come to after I've done the audition, and I'm like,
Yeah.
nice to meet you.
Yeah.
But I remember, I'm so glad that I'm not the only one. But I walked in, and I had like in every audition that I'd done, which I think at that point was like 2 or 3.
For Bones, not all in your
for
career.
Bones.
Oh,
yeah, and in
wow.
my
She'd
entire
only done
career,
2 auditions
in my
in her
life.
life.
And an AT&T commercial.
Exactly. And and the rest is history. But no, I walked in with my flats on because there was something about the flats that grounded me. I was wearing a suit,
Right.
a t-shirt, and flats, and it
Right.
just felt like that's what Cam would be wearing.
Yeah.
Cuz she's serious. Like she's
Yeah.
she's serious.
Yeah.
Though she was fun, it just felt grounding and
Yeah.
like the right thing. Why would
She's
I
tough.
be
She has to be intimidating.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
and like kind of cop suit,
Right.
everyone had the audition cop suit. So I was wearing that and David, bless him, like looking back on it, was so crazy. I was getting ready to walk over to network, and I got pulled aside by Rick Milliken, casting director, beautiful, extraordinaire, changed our lives guy. And he said, you know what? David wants you to wear heels. He thinks you should wear heels. Do you mind going down to wardrobe? Literally,
Wait, you hadn't even brought them.
I had flats.
like, that
I
was the
had
choice you had
ballet
made, yeah.
flats. That was it. He
Yeah.
literally had wardrobe asked my size, and had wardrobe bring up some heels because he was like, I think you need heels.
Also, I mean,
Right?
this is not related in
But
that
it just
you're not
felt
auditioning with us, but Michaela is tall. I'm not quite as tall as Michaela, but I'm pretty tall.
Yeah.
And you're tall, but you're not as tall as
tall.
us. So like wearing the heels makes a lot of sense. But
But
that's
that's
probably not why he did.
major.
It's like kind of a power move. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
The heels
I think so. He just,
are kind
I
of
think
a,
he
like,
needed,
it
he
kind of
felt he-
upgrades. I can
Yeah.
see why. It kind of brings up a little bit of a power.
But how
kind
cool
thing.
of him to be like, essentially what he's doing, though it sounds, it could sound insignificant of just like put on a heel. He's seeing, like he's putting you into a presentational, he wants you to look
Exactly.
a certain way.
Yeah.
Like he's
To
selling,
put it over
he's
the
helping,
edge of getting
that part.
to
Yeah.
helping sell you.
And
Like,
that's
Right.
what it felt like to me. Because when I watched the two of you, because of, again, like we're sitting on the couch, everyone's filing in, and you're like, 21, 22. How many people are going to be in there? Okay, that's super cool. But you guys were the last ones to show up because you were on set and had to be
Right.
pulled. And you introduced yourselves to both of us.
Right, yeah.
And I just felt like I shook your hand, and this was the second time I'd met you. And you just, again, gave the loveliest smile. And I just thought, I like her. And David was like, he just gave me one of those. And
and you're like,
I just felt like
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
he's rooting
yeah.
for me. He just got me
Yeah.
these
shoes.
Yeah.
No, he was.
was I think he's rooting for me.
obviously.
You know,
yeah.
like,
Because right after that studio test or whatever it was, we were both like, that's her. And they're like, we get it. But they knew just from, they could
okay.
tell by the way he was reading with you that
Really?
he
Oh.
liked you. For
Oh,
this
that's
part.
Really?
Mhm.
And you had like such confidence, and you just lived the character. You just lived the character.
that's-
and
I'm
it just
sweating
felt
there.
so right. We just knew immediately. And I think
Wow.
did you go right to wardrobe after
Right
that?
to wardrobe.
They
It was
sent her-
one of those.
because she had to
one
work
of those dreams.
the next day.
Yes!
The
It was
next- I don't know why
crazy.
it was so down to the minute.
Yeah, it was weird. And I had just come back from a director's lab, but then I got back and literally got the producers meeting, like I think the next day. Didn't know the words, and so, of course, looking back, I'm like, Hart, I was given the material. I had no time to learn it, and he said, we knew.
Knew that you didn't know?
your lines, and I was like, "Thank you,
Oh.
thank you." So clearly, I'm going to know them by the time I get into. So by the time I got back to studio and network, I knew them, but
you had them, and you could
always
you
reference
occasionally
them.
look down.
Yeah.
And it was just a good thing for me to think about when I'm auditioning. Sometimes I'm like, I'll like not remember something, and then you don't want to look down. Sometimes like, no, it's okay to look down. You look
Yeah.
down still in character. You know what I mean? You were saying you're in the scene, and then you just I'm punching this thing too. You look in the scene, and you just look down, and then you said your line, and it was
Wow.
it felt
I have no recollection.
very in control, and also you're just
But
living
that's so
the character.
I was
It
going to
just-
say.
yeah, you
That's
had
so the
power
character.
and, like,
Calm power.
calm. Yeah,
that was
yeah,
my
yeah.
takeaway from, because it's, I didn't analyze anybody. I mean, I'm sure I was judging everybody when I was working
Of
there.
course we
but
were.
now I'm really,
felt
I
that.
mean,
Of
I have
judging.
some
We were
things.
you don't think we weren't judging
I
you?
mean, I have some.
Don't
things
think
to
we
say.
weren't
I have
judging
some
you.
notes. No, but now I'm really like watching in a different. I feel like I'm sometimes like I have these very lengthy notes. And we just watched 201 where you first show up, and so I feel like I'm in like film class, like the way I'm kind of watching the performances and the script and all of it, and the set and the locations of it. And I'm gonna embarrass you now. You are so calm and confidently in charge.
Yeah.
With a smile on your
Wow.
face. Like, it's really fascinating because I was like, I wonder if other people who audition for the role, because a lot of that episode is her really establishing her power.
Yeah.
But also
really
figuring
throwing
out
it,
how to get them on board, right? So she hasn't quite approached it the right way maybe initially,
Yeah.
and she figures that, and David,
gives her a little bit of insight. And she
Booth
kind
helps
of like
her.
advocates for her people. Yeah.
But because also you're one-upping her, which
the
doesn't
sparring,
happen.
which continued to happen, which was so fun
Right,
from
yeah.
episode to episode. No, I did it. No, that was mine. Like,
But you have a smile on your face, but I fully believe you that you're in power. Like it was
love
really,
that.
it was really cool because
It's true.
I could see other people kind of coming in at it maybe like a little more
stern,
biting or
trying to prove their power rather than just owning and having the power, where you had that power. You didn't need to prove you had the power, which I think a lot of times people come in and try to prove they have power. You just lived in that, and then also could have the smile, could be humorous, could be bring the hammer down.
I saw the humor in Cam. That was the funny thing, is like the writing. God bless Hart and that beautiful writer's room. The writing was just so effortlessly funny.
Yes.
And I think the cast just knew what they were doing, so it was even funnier. I don't know. It just had, Cam seemed to immediately have more depth than just stern taskmaster.
Yeah, true.
That, oh, you darn kids.
Right.
You know, which I felt like she did a lot, but there was always an appreciation and a smile, like an inner smile.
Yeah.
You know.
You conveyed that.
Clever and humorous.
Yeah, very playful. But in charge, like the whole time, and believably in charge.
Now, guys, did you ever feel like, I don't know, I felt so not, like I was, pardon me, shitting a brick the entire, the entire first episode. You know, when you're like,
see it at all.
Of course, the first episode. Are you kidding me? You're thrown in. This is like a different situation too.
Yeah.
It's interesting. You had to basically test, but it wasn't the same thing as when you test for a pilot. First of all, it's already a show.
Yeah.
So if you get the part, it's like, you're good.
Yes.
You
well,
know,
that's
you're good at least for a year or two, you know? I mean, when we shot the pilot, I mean, I had nervous breakdowns left and right. I mean, I was breaking down crying.
Do you know what's amazing? And even watching it, like going back, because we've had enough time and distance and you guys are really watching, but like going back and watching, which I very purposefully did not watch season 1 before I got it, because I didn't want it to influence.
Okay. Yeah.
I just wanted.
I was curious if you'd seen any of it before you started.
Like, literally, there are certain pilots, there are certain things that out of the gate, people just get their characters innately, and this is the magic that we were talking about earlier. There was just a chemistry and a magic, like characters developed a few more layers, but you guys all dropped in really fully formed, like, which is why I think it lasted as long as it did. So fully formed, and hilariously, you were having a breakdown first episode. Like, what's happening?
I'm glad that that's how it looked. But I mean, I know having watched it not that long ago, and then, but how much we gelled and how it did seem. I would say it seemed like a show already in the pilot, and a lot of times. Pilots don't seem like, even shows that make it,
they're catching their vibe, they're catching their whatever. And no, the pilot came out swinging, like it knew what it was, you know, and the evolved.
Casting. I mean, I think that what you're saying speaks to, again, like that, like if you are well cast and you're really right for that character, there's no struggle. Like, even though you might be crying, like if you really are her to some degree, then it's effortless, and that's why and I do feel it, because I fully agree with you guys. That pilot, it was like everybody is who they are. You know, TJ is.
I bought everyone.
Yeah, right.
Michaela, like I just and like internally, also conversely, you guys all seemed so. Just everyone. I feel like everybody that got cast on that show, like the main group of us, just got who they were cast as unconsciously somehow.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I heard Michaela say that she didn't feel as ballsy and bold as her character.
Yeah. I was shocked.
Yeah. Right.
Oh yeah.
And I did not feel like I was rolling in like I'm the boss. I'm so confident. Like I said, I was you know, like having a heart attack, and I was sitting across the table from the whole cast going, hi, I just got the job yesterday. I don't know.
That was insane that they threw you. And there was insane dialogue that first day.
I'm a diuretic seagull, people. Everything goes, this is going to be tighter than a nun's knees. I'm a diuretic seagull, people. Everything goes through me.
All these
great lines.
There's so much great dialogue for you.
And now, did you guys notice that the dialogue also, because by the time season 12, episode 12 happened, which was very emotional, I just noticed how pithy and quick our dialogue was. So quick in seasons, like it was so pacey, as they say, the word we hate. So pacey, but like naturally just the banter was quick, and as the years rolled on, we started to get a little more casual. We're like, what is okay? What's the dialogue? I'm just gonna. What did TJ hide his lines in the corpse?
No, the craziest. I've never ever seen anything like it. The placement of when I would come on and you'd go to grab something,
TJ's line.
You like pick something and you're like, oh my god, there's sides are taped to the back of it. Like
TJ,
it was hysterical. I don't know if he really, but I feel like I think we talked to him about this. Did he like ever tape sides to the back of someone's head or something? Like, honey, what, like,
he did a bit. Do you remember the bit where he was like
forehead or whatever.
What?
No,
what?
And it was on.
It was on
camera.
His,
Wait, but then didn't he reach for it? And there was a camera, and they were like, we can see it's written because there was an overhead, and he didn't realize that there was a camera like shooting down.
I thought he did a whole joke. I think that was a joke when there was a thing on the finger.
I don't think on the finger. Yeah, he knew he was going too far.
Oh my god!
But he also, to his credit, had the worst.
The worst.
They gave him the worst dialogue, and the fact he could do it. I couldn't do something like that.
It was amazing.
I couldn't do that. I tried in the car scenes because the Booth and Brennan car scenes would be
you had a lot of technical jargon.
Yeah, and they'd be quick and like, easy to film too. So you kind of want to just get through them. And they weren't ever emotionally, or I shouldn't say ever.
No,
because
they were
once
really
in a while,
good.
They could
Your
be
car scenes were like kind of sexy and
they were.
You guys had intimate moments in those cars.
Yeah, it was time to connect the two of them. Yeah,
but I did. David would put up his sides like on the windshield.
Yeah, you're like, thank God I don't need to memorize this.
First of all, I couldn't read it at a certain point. I certainly can't read it now.
No,
I need my glasses. But I couldn't read it and then do the scene. You know what I mean? I
takes
couldn't
you
read
out of it.
and do the
that's how it takes me out of it.
It takes me right out of it, and I'm like, oh God, excuse me, guys.
Yep. Unlike your audition.
Yeah. That's amazing.
I couldn't do that. Yeah.
But honestly, I don't think I was reading it. I think I was referencing it. It was like
almost like you were
silky.
taking your time and I think it gave you even more power to have that like pause. You know what I mean?
I think that's
you look down and I didn't know if you were looking towards the paper, but I didn't know if you were actually reading it or not. But you had that real confidence to just take that moment,
Summer is full of big moments.
Like what?
Oh, well, glad you asked. Weddings, vacations, and endless photos. But if you're dealing with hair thinning or shedding, these moments might cause more anxiety than joy. Nutrafol takes a whole body approach to hair growth, working from the inside out. So the sooner you start, the sooner you will be feeling confident and focusing on what matters most to you.
You may have heard of Nutrafol's hair growth supplements and wondered, do they actually work? It's a fair question. Many hair supplements overpromise and underdeliver. But Nutrafol is different. As the #1 dermatologist-recommended hair growth supplement brand, it's trusted by over 1.5 million people and is clinically tested to deliver real results in just 3 to 6 months.
Everyone's root causes of hair thinning are different, so a one-size-fits-all approach to hair growth doesn't cut it. Nutrafol has multiple formulas designed to give your body what it needs to grow and support your hair's unique needs. Whether you're navigating postpartum, menopause, a plant-based lifestyle, or simply looking to see less hair shedding, Nutrafol has you covered.
Adding Nutrafol to your routine is easy and no prescription is needed. Order online with free shipping and automated deliveries. Subscribe to save up to 20% and enjoy perks like one-on-one naturopathic consults and a free Headspace membership to support your hair growth journey.
This summer, stop worrying about your hair and start making memories. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code Boneheads. Find out why Nutrafol is the best-selling hair growth supplement brand at Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code Boneheads. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code Boneheads. So you come on to this set.
Yeah.
These people have all had employment for a year, and they're picked up, and you are also,
and they're all a family.
They're a family, and then you're the new kid, and not only are you the new kid, without it being, well, no, it is overt. You are replacing somebody, right? Because
I mean, not
the
the same
script.
I didn't
character.
realize
You didn't?
that. Thank goodness.
Okay.
I was
Good.
Oh, you
so
didn't know.
naive.
You didn't really know.
That would have hurt my heart.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
But thank goodness I didn't know. I just knew that I was being brought in, you know, and I thought I was being brought in a different way than you guys did, because I thought, ooh, this is an arc, like, you know, possible
Aren't you-
series regular is what
Yes.
I was told.
You were a guest star, I think,
What?
on the first couple episodes, if I'm not
but they
mistaken.
brought me to network and studio. I did the
didn't
whole
realize
signing
that.
of the contract. I
So
did all of that.
This is to be able to get rid of you if it
Yeah,
doesn't
this
work
was
out.
like a trial situation,
Which I didn't know.
I didn't know. Wait, did you? What did you mean you didn't know? You thought it was an arc, or you thought you were?
I thought
now
it was
a
a,
series
like
regular.
series regular, kind of the
Well,
tryout.
we all thought that too.
Yeah. Oh, I thought someone said that they didn't, because I did that whole like signing of the contract
Wow.
before I read for network. So I was like, I think I'm a series regular. And then Hart was like,
so wait, Hart was.
What did he say?
well, it's funny. Again, we sort of know what we need to know. I don't believe in accidents. I went in there thinking, okay, I've got like, if I nail this 9 episodes, if it works, I think it was not necessarily a trial, but like as long as everything goes well, I'm in.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
And I immediately felt scared, but like welcomed by the cast. Like, you guys were just like, come on, you know. I was terrified. The first scene was that diuretic seagull scene. I had like,
It's insane.
ridiculous. But I just immediately felt like I was welcomed. So
Oh, good.
yeah, it was just effortless. And I know we've all been on so many different sets. Not always effortless. Not always.
No, it's not.
No. So it was
Yeah.
really kind of nice to just seamlessly go, this feels good. I hope I stay here. Like, this feels nice.
So at what point do you know then that you are a series regular? Like, is there some
That's
conversation?
so
Here's-
weird. I
here-
didn't know that. I thought you were series regular.
So did I.
Yeah.
So did I.
Until you had a conversation with
Until
Hart,
I
who
was
like,
at craft service. Until I was at craft service.
Snack table, people.
Snack table. Snacks.
That's
snack
what we
table.
call a snack table.
Yeah,
Crafty.
crafty,
Craft
exactly.
service, yeah.
So I was getting my coffee, and Hart said, well, he came up, you know, sheepish. He always is like sheepish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're doing so well. And I said, thank you. He said, you're doing so well. The fans are loving you, which was like, thank you. We're going to have to kill you.
What?
My response exactly. I said, what? And I thought he was joking. And he said,
What?
I didn't know this.
so
at all.
the
Okay.
episode that I get poisoned
Yes.
was potentially my exit, which
What?
I did not know. Thank goodness I didn't know, because
Yeah.
I would have been so scared on that set. I heard what I needed to hear. I believed that I was on the show. Apparently, there was a caveat in there somewhere. If I don't work, they can
No,
you
Your
know.
agent or manager didn't mention
It
that
didn't
to
happen to
you.
mention.
Yeah.
I don't think they know. They knew,
Right,
but
right.
somehow there was just maybe
So there's a built-in
Trial.
murder of your character
Yeah.
to get rid of you if, as an actress,
This
it
is
is not
breaking
working
news
out.
that I did not know.
That
This talk about
crazy
cold
cold
goss.
goss.
That feels hot.
It feels
Yes.
hot to me.
Yes, indeed.
That is-
well, and it's funny because Michaela felt like she was told that I wasn't a series regular, that I was a guest star, and they were so surprised that I had been bumped up. And I was like, but I did that.
yeah, you
whole-
signed
My
the paper.
memory
Yeah.
is that you were testing for the character.
Well, because you tested.
I mean,
with
maybe
me.
I
Well, I
was.
think
So
she
you got
was.
the real.
Maybe I'm remembering wrong. Maybe I knew that at the time, but I mean,
I think you
I was
did.
surprised when I was watching the Titan on the Tracks, I think, or the second episode or whatever it was, where I noticed that you were listed as a guest star. And
Yeah.
I was like, ugh.
So
What?
there was something hinky in there, and I don't know what it
Yes.
was, but Hart came up to me and he said, you're doing so well. And we love you so much, we're going to have to kill you. And so
I don't know if that's like the best. I mean, I don't know what the best
know.
way of telling something that is. I think probably from the beginning,
It was a
it's
very
telling them
sweet
from
delivery.
the beginning.
Yeah.
Hey, just so you know, like from your agent or somebody, you could be a series regular, but they're trying you out.
But that's
Yeah.
But maybe
a terrible
that's not
amount of
good to
pressure.
know.
Yeah, I think
maybe
I
they
would
just
collapse
maybe
under
they
that.
didn't. My agents maybe didn't highlight that. So I
Yeah.
remember like, you get these first 9. If it's feeling good, you're going to stay on.
Right.
So that's all I
That's all you needed
heard.
to
I
know.
blocked out the rest, and then Hart said we're going to have to kill you. And so
when did you? Okay, go
I
ahead.
went back to my trailer, wept, called my agent, and said, "Are they killing me? Why didn't you tell me? Like, why didn't you?" And they didn't really know what was going on.
I guess they can kill anyone at any time.
At any
can't
time,
they? Like, they can
but that's
choose
when
to
they
kill any
mentioned that
serious regular.
they did mention like a trial, like
Right. They're
making
like,
sure.
let me look at this contract.
Yeah, they did mention that there was going to be a little trial period, and if it all worked well, again you auditioned as a series regular.
Yeah, but it sounds like things were going well, which meant they were going to kill you.
Yes.
Like you're doing well, and then we're going to kill you.
yeah.
Which feels like the opposite of what.
Weird. It was weird. And then I think it was Tony Warmby or Hart came back and said, "There's been a flag on the play," because I think that they thought that would be a graceful exit if need be. And I think he might have been, he thought it was funny, he was joking, I don't know, but it was written in there. And then they decided I wasn't going to die because it was working. So
How soon after
Cam's going to
him
get poisoned
Did they
and
make
she's not going
changes
to
to
die.
the Cam character? Did they make any changes to the Cam character in there that might have contributed to them not wanting to kill her?
I don't know. I think that it was just Cam was getting a good response, and I think that she was providing the foil that Booth and Brennan needed.
Yes.
There's
a lot. You provided a lot of things. You have a history with Booth.
Exactly.
So
Just
there's kind of like
threw
a
little salt in the game. She just made things a little more complicated.
Then you're Brennan's boss.
Yeah.
You're helping to solve the crimes. There's so many purposes that you served. It's so interesting. I mean, wow! I didn't even realize that you went through that.
Yeah, so I'm glad I didn't die.
I know. I'm
me
glad
too.
they
What a
kept
different
you.
story that would have been.
Yeah, man, oh man.
Wow.
But I did when I was frothing on the ground. It was that director that forgot my name and forgot to yell
before.
cut. And I'm just convulsing on the ground.
You did such a
frothing in
good
the mouth.
job of that.
And he just let me stay there. And I was like, guys, is it lunch?
Had everyone just
What episode was that? Do you remember
that was
what
12.
that was?
Episode 12, I
Episode
think.
12
that's
of
feel like
season 2, episode
Yeah.
12. Okay.
What you got left
I got
convulsing
left
on the
convulsing on the
ground.
floor.
Convulsing
Did you
on the
know
ground.
when you convulsed
That I was going to
that you were
live?
going to live?
Yes, thank
Because
goodness.
that was in the script that you lived.
So I think Hart got out in front of the script that we were all going to get.
Okay.
So we were, I think, shooting episode 10, late 10, early 11, and he wanted to let me know that I'm going to get poisoned and killed, and then you're not going to get
think
killed.
that you were going to get killed with the poison at first.
At first. And then he said, we've rewritten it. You're not,
How
you're
long
not dying.
were you thinking you were going to be killed off
It might
before
have
you
been-
found out you were safe?
Might have been days.
Okay. Oh, I was thinking it could be months or weeks.
No, it would I think it was a preemptive.
Wow.
You're going to get the script. I don't want you to be
okay.
shocked. You're going to get poisoned and you're going to die.
Wow.
Because that
That's
script's
crazy,
being written
though.
probably at
Yeah.
that point, and the discussion
They
is
had broken
happening.
that. They had broken that
Right.
episode. It was probably written. This is where we're going.
Whoa.
And then they changed the all
Yeah.
they did was change that I survived.
Yeah. I mean, there's studio and network weighing in on all these things
Of
and what
course.
makes sense for the
Oh, yeah.
story and all that. And like,
So nuts.
I know killing characters can be like
Huge.
Ratings,
good for ratings
yeah.
or
Well,
something.
yeah, apparently now.
Not
Yeah.
apparently now. Is that what you
Oh,
said?
apparently now, yeah. Like the
Oh, yeah.
killing.
Main
is this a
character,
spoiler,
yeah.
but did you guys
Everyone's-
see Last of Us?
I didn't.
I only watched
I didn't.
part of it because I find it really scary.
It's terrifying, and it's too
Disturbing.
close to
Like-
too close to the world right now. I just can't handle anything that's too close to the world right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things you just, you'd rather watch
Too
some
much.
like silly
HGTV.
reality. I'm
just about
Yes, let's
HGTV.
watch a house renovation.
Yes, beginning, middle, end. You leave it more
Yes.
beautiful than you found it.
Not the
Happy
end of the
place.
world.
No.
Something that can make you laugh.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's all I
That's
want.
exactly where I'm at.
Yeah.
Oh.
Speaking of light, and
Yeah.
to change the subject
Yes,
from the
let's
dumpster
go into
fire,
blood and gore.
Can I
Are you
ask,
gonna
can
go
I ask
to
you a fan question? I
Do
like
we
to
have fans?
Do we have
questions?
fans? We have fans.
They're Bones fans and Bonehead fans, I
Yeah.
guess.
I love
well,
it.
I mean, if you think Tamara
I always
Taylor doesn't have fans,
Loved
Yeah.
calling them boneheads because it's just
I know.
it's such a cool thing.
And I like being a bonehead myself.
Yeah, exactly. We're all boneheads.
Annalise
This will be the hardest thing we do
Dietz-
today.
Yeah,
Anna
Annalise
what?
Dietz
Okay.
is asking, since Cam deals with the more fleshy, gross bodies, Was there one that really sticks to mind? Because I do like to talk about the bodies. The bodies are an important part of.
The bodies are super amazing.
Bugs.
The bugs.
I
The
remember-
bugs.
Do you have a
the
bug?
bugs.
Do you have a bug problem?
Have a big bug problem.
Do you?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's funny because I mean, how many gross? There was the guy. I had a real problem when the people on the table were real, and it was very, very rare.
Wait, like a human, like a
human.
real human
A
was
real
laying there.
fleshy human.
Okay.
Real fleshy
Okay.
live human that would have the amazing.
Chest plate, right?
Chest plate. The brothers who are beautiful.
Oh, Jaeger brothers.
Jaeger
Yeah.
brothers.
Kevin Jaeger,
would,
Chris
yeah,
Jaeger. Yeah,
would fillet his chest open.
yeah. You'd have an actual person, and then they put like a plate on
chest
top.
plate on
Gosh, I
to
like
be like, because during an autopsy, they like open up the ribs
It's-
and get into the.
I didn't realize they were real.
Every now and
she would
then.
have to, because she was the medical examiner, so she dealt with flesh.
Oh,
so
yeah.
once in a while, they'd have a fleshy body for her.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
and she'd be the main one dealing with it.
And would you be
Exactly.
like, "Hi, would you like a straw?
That's kind
Would
of
you like
what.
a
Well,
straw?"
because I was.
She's so sweet. She'd always be like
course.
that.
I felt so bad because you forget that they're real. Because I'm so used to like having bones
over
in
the body.
body.
the dead body because it
It was the
just
best
yeah.
part of the
latex.
show. So, how was your date? As we're like, dissecting things, putting on gloves. I'm punching this microphone. I'm just punching the shit out of it. But
It's a bit now.
It's a bit.
You
It's a
gotta
bit. I've
continue
just
doing
got to
it.
continue through the whole thing. But that was, I think those were the hardest because you forgot that there was a real live breathing person down there that you kept on going, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Did I drop corpse? Because I also had to deal with the corpse gravy, which I really loved.
corpse gravy.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
what I called it.
Tamara coined that term. That's
yes.
what we ended up calling it. It's
What,
like
just goo?
The goo, body goo.
Just make it
They'd take
gooier.
it and they'd have brushes.
And it
they'd
looked
have-
like gravy,
it's
like turkey
cellulose.
gravy.
It looked like it did look like gravy.
Right?
It was corpse gravy.
Yeah.
Tamara has like the best expressions.
Oh my God.
too. Like, she'll corpse gravy is the best description. They take it and they'd like
Dollop
wet
it
all
out.
up, like make
Slather it on.
I'm ready for my close up, Mr. DeMille,
Exactly.
or whatever. They'd come over, and so we'd have to take our gloves when they were clean and put it all in
Okay,
the.
okay.
Yeah,
I do remember that.
Dirty
Yeah,
it
yeah,
up,
yeah,
dirty
yeah.
it
Dirty
up.
up okay,
Get some
dirty
blood,
up,
get some blood.
ready.
But I think
got so used to
we
it.
got so used to it. There was two that stuck out as just the nastiest, even though they weren't oddly the grossest. But the skull cap, the liquefied man. All we could find was a skull cap.
Oh yes,
He had liquefied
That might have been in
Oh.
season 2.
It was in
Yeah,
season 2,
yeah.
I think.
It's in that bathtub.
yeah.
It's like in I've seen that
Super.
episode. Yeah.
That was like super icky, and that wasn't even like me. I think Eric found the skull cap, and I was like, this is the worst murder ever. But I also I had to slice up a lot of things.
Okay.
But
Oh, yeah.
production.
And with your left hand, you'd always be on the wrong side.
I was like, guys, you gotta help me out here. I'm gonna be slicing with my left hand.
because they'd set up. I think this is what happened.
Always.
They'd always set up the shot. Like the director would be in prep, and the director would think like, "Oh, let me think. Oh, this makes sense for her to cut here and do this."
So
and
they'd
then
set
this
the
person,
camera
but
up
They
this-
set it all up, but Tamara's left-handed.
Yeah.
So then inevitably
plight
she'd be
of the
like
left-handed
having to
actress.
either be like,
trying to do this.
Right.
Let me try that. I could perhaps.
and
do
you'd
it
always
this way.
try.
Yeah,
but
I'll give it a shot. But I was asked to slice, and I won't say by who, but it was someone in production. They said, would you be open to? The description is slicing the brain like beef carpaccio.
no.
And so wafer thin, just wafer thin.
And
with
it
my
looked like a
little scalpel.
brain.
Yeah. Brain. And would you be open? And I was like, this is going to be awesome.
To eating it after.
Well, no, and to eat it, can you imagine? Oh,
Very Hannibal.
Would be another
Very Hannibal
ending.
Lecter.
Yeah.
Very Hannibal Lecter.
Ending.
Yeah.
exactly
for
with a
Cam
nice
Saroyan.
Chianti. But I was so excited about the notion because it was so gross, and the Jaeger brothers were so great. And then I was asked if I would be willing to slice a real brain, and I was like,
No,
Wait.
no.
What?
No.
hell to the no.
What?
No.
No.
Hell to the no.
No.
I was just like, oh no.
That's what people ask me all the time.
Yeah,
Do you use
no.
real bodies?
Wait,
and I
they
always say
wanted you
that's
They
insanity.
asked, I think because it
What?
was so hard to figure out how
to do a really a fake brain.
yeah, because I was
Right.
gonna
When you
have to
slice
slice
it.
it.
Yeah, because it's
They
rubber.
needed
it's
something
not
to be
gonna-
sliced, and so they had the Jaeger brothers had to like pre-slice this like plastic or rubbery brain.
Where were they
So-
going to get a real brain?
Cow. And I was like, actually, no. I don't. I think
No.
officially I
Someone
would
else, the Hairy Knuckles, can do it.
let Harry Knuckles, the insert artist, do it, please.
That's another coined phrase by Tamara when we'd have someone else would do the inserts. We talked about this.
There was
We
always
talked
the
about this.
Harry Knuckles. Like, whose hands are
For
those?
me, it was dirty nails. It was always like
Mine was
I'll
Hairy
show
Knuckles
you
and
that.
yours
And it
was
was
dirty
like black, and I'd be like, I keep my nails clean.
Yes,
please
exactly.
find
That's
an
exactly.
Maybe,
appropriate.
like shorter or different shape.
Just be nice to have woman hands. You've got very
Yeah.
long, thin hands. It'd be nice to have female hands.
I had a man double for me. I'm not joking. I had a man double for me. I did a movie in New Zealand.
I can't. That just, what does it do to your divine
Yeah, you were
feminine
like-
to know that you're being doubled by a man? Are you guys cool with
I
this?
went through a whole thing. So basically, I was in New Zealand. It was a movie in New Zealand called Boogeyman, and there was
Okay.
some stunts on a
It
horse.
was a horror film? I think
A horror
I think
film.
I saw it.
Okay.
That's amazing.
I just met someone who did Boogeyman 2, and I was like, I was in Boogeyman 1.
That's amazing.
Do you
so-
die in Boogeyman 1?
No, I don't. I was
Why
supposed
are you in
to.
Boogeyman 2?
Exactly. I was supposed to. I don't think anyone who's involved in Boogeyman 1 was in Boogeyman.
Yeah.
Did anything in
Well, the
Boogeyman
quality
2.
of Boogeyman
But
1 to
way
Boogeyman
down.
2.
We'd never be able to
I'm
reproduce
sure, I
that.
didn't see it, but I'm sure if I saw it, it was much
A1.
The quality was
Top notch.
much worse. I'm
Top-
sure.
Oh,
of it.
obviously.
And no, they rewrote it. They rewrote it, and I did not die. And we had to go back and do reshoots, not just because for me to survive, but for other things. Anyway, but just for me to say I did survive that movie.
Beautiful. With the help of a mustachioed man
With the help of a mustachioed man.
that played your stunt double.
Looked so much. They couldn't find a woman manly enough to be my double. They couldn't find a
Are you
woman
strong
in
enough to be
all
my
of
man?
New Zealand
Wow.
to be my double. And
That's
so,
astonishing.
yeah, I guess when I asked, because no one told me this, the driver who would drive me to work told me that because I wore the same outfit the entire film. So
I
he
love
saw
those
someone
ones where you're like, I
wearing
wish
my-
someone had told me because I would have chosen something slightly nicer.
Yeah.
More comfortable.
Yeah, it was a leather jacket in my case, and I
that's
am
nice.
vegan, and we had a whole conversation about it, and whatever. But
The good old days when you'd swallow your pride.
yeah, the
And-
good old days when I'm like,
I'm a vegan.
I'm fine.
Never mind.
I'll do
Okay.
anything.
Never mind. But I don't like
Christine
never mind.
here. Absolutely. I'll take the leather jacket.
Can I get leather shoes too, please?
Yes, I'll take them out. That's totally cool. Don't eat meat. And my name's Christine.
Yeah, sure.
I just so you know, I need a man double.
Yeah, I'm
see,
cool with the
I'm
guy. We look
manly
very
enough.
similar. We do look very similar.
The driver saw what he thought was me. Like, so this person did look enough like me from behind with a wig on. He was expecting me, and there was like some man with this wig on.
Oh.
Then he told me about it. And then I asked them,
makes
and
it
they were
extra
like,
special.
no, there's not many people who can do the horse stunts. So he's doubled for a lot of women. I'm like,
Sure.
okay.
Has he?
Sure.
To me, I thought I was just too manly.
No,
But
well, we can all
anyway.
we can all attest to that being untrue. But in the moment, you're like, I think you've just crushed my confidence
Yeah.
pretty
Oh, I did.
successfully.
I
Take
did.
that in deep.
Yeah.
Let me really.
really gonna let
Take
it
it-
lodge
yeah,
like
yeah.
down.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it, and I'm
in
gonna
the
keep it for a
diaphragm,
long
like deeper
time.
than the diaphragm.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna
Can I
lodge.
change into a dress for this film?
Exactly for the entire film. It's
Just
true.
like write a scene where I change into a dress.
Speaking
Whatever.
of dresses,
Oh dear.
We're almost
maybe
matching.
the tightest. No, I was going to talk about.
You're gonna talk
Cam
about the
Saroyan's. Some of the smallest clothing I've ever seen in my
Well,
life.
there's a difference too from the beginning of what Cam is wearing from the beginning.
Guys, there's a backstory.
I want to
tell
know. I
me.
don't know if I know the
I would
backstory.
be like, are you okay to eat lunch today? Like it felt
No.
like
Oh.
I've never seen
I mean,
smaller, tighter.
You
It
looked
just-
amazing.
You looked amazing.
You had those
Oh my
incredible
God.
bodycon dresses, like the
But did not
Hervé
start out
Leger
that
or
way. Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Did not
right,
start
the-
out
the,
that
like,
way.
No,
yes.
she did not start out
No.
that way.
Okay, wait.
No.
What's the story?
So the story, and okay, there's an evolution. So first season, in the cop suit, in the brown slacks. Everyone likes a slack.
Yeah.
Sure.
We all love slacks.
I
Every
do,
woman
actually.
feels so good in slacks. I had
I
like,
do like slacks.
oh, I love a good pant.
I will say
but
that.
don't give me a slack.
Oh.
I like a good pant, a nice,
I don't know. I like menswear, so
Me too.
Hence wear my mens.
But like a good suit, a nice, like
fitted.
Like the police ones are usually like authentic police ones
a
are
little
usually
ill-fitting.
Polyester, not well fitted, not
it.
well made,
And that's how it's supposed to be. And you just kind of go, I'm not supposed to be cute. It's not about the clothes.
Yeah.
So when Cam started, I was actually looking at some of the suits. They were nice and boss-like suits. So Cam was in the suit, like in the two-piece suit every episode. And I think the first complaint came from Network about my autopsy outfit, which was a gown, which was accurate. It was up to here.
Oh.
I had to get into it. I had to get it
well.
laced up the back.
Okay.
It had a little bit of a not even a cinch, but it was a tent that went down to here, and it was appropriate because she was over blood and guts.
Yeah.
And
whereas we were wearing lab coats that weren't because we were over.
You were over bones. So
Sometimes it was
Right.
messy, but it wasn't as messy.
Yeah,
as
and I
like
always had an
actual
apron, as well.
Yeah.
And I think there was a note that
Sexy.
came. Well, there was a note that it was Fox.
Wow.
Yes,
There was a note that
Fox
came
is
from
supposed to be
Fox.
sexy.
Foxerific.
Young,
That's what we used to call
Foxerific.
it. Yeah.
Young
So,
and sexy.
yeah, they said, we really don't like that autopsy outfit at all. Yeah, we could lose that in a second. Is there anything that you can do to make that better? So we can actually see that she's a woman in there.
Okay.
And so, was it Bobby came up with...
Bobby Reed, I think, was the costume
Bobby,
designer
yeah,
then.
she came up with the collar. Like, I felt like it was out of Star Wars.
I was thinking Star Trek. That
Star Trek,
cool
yeah.
suit you had or whatever.
It
that
was
like a
amazing, and
cool-
it was like her design. I like, and I'm sorry if it's not her.
great.
She killed it. And we kind of had to get it right. First, it was too thick, like too tight, and then it was too thin. Like, so it kind of evolved into this tailored thing, but it was a note from Fox. So that was when my autopsy outfit changed.
Yeah.
And then. Was it with Bobby that the dresses started to get a little tight?
I don't know.
I can't
don't
remember
know when the dresses changed. I was just surprised. I forgot.
It was near.
I remembered that it was different at the beginning, but I didn't remember
and I think
that until
the first couple of seasons, it was normal and in the realm of reasonable. Even if it was a dress, it was in the realm of reasonable.
Right.
And then all of a sudden,
You could breathe in it.
like we
Okay.
could
Wasn't
breathe.
like-
Yeah.
And it would be like something that people would come to work in. And then at a certain point,
Well,
it was like,
or maybe not even. Yeah.
And at a certain point,
It
there were
was
things that
stilettos, and
I remember that.
And they would, and my favorite thing is that I would walk into the bone room, and you'd be like, because I would look like Michael Jackson. I would have gloves, a sleeveless dress, and.
I remember one time-
I'd be doing the robot. You would be infuriated. There's no way that you would be over this table with gloves, your arms hanging out, totally bare arms, and a skin tight dress. Like, come on,
Right.
come on. So finally, we got a coat for them. But I think that because we had sort of hidden Cam in these suits,
They were like, you
like-
gotta show that bod.
well, just here's a dress. And I was like, I love dresses. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And you
So
look
I
great
think
in
I
them.
egged them on because I don't think I'd ever worn. I've been like teacher, doctor, lawyer,
Right.
cop.
Right.
I'm used to the cop suit. So when they said dress,
No, great.
hell yes.
Yeah.
Heels, why not?
But how did it end up?
No place in a lab at all. We all knew it. So we threw a coat over it to
Right.
sometimes make it real.
But
We knew it.
because they were so
Tight.
form-fitting.
They were so
that,
tight.
Was that a progression as
It
well?
was a progression.
Okay.
By the end of it, we just knew the cam cinch. They would just go, this is not tight enough.
Was that a network thing?
I think
Where did that come from?
I think it was
Did
just
it need to be so tight and stuff?
I think we just had one dress that was alike. But yeah, I think it was an evolution. I think I wore one sort of form-fitting dress.
Right. And then everyone was like, yes, that
This
looks
worked.
great.
Yeah, and it also differentiated because Michaela had the, as you guys said, the belts, the wah belts,
Yeah.
and a lot of jewelry, just a
Yeah.
ton of
her
fantastic groovy
Yeah.
hippie jewelry, and just like the frills and very Stevie Nicks-y. Like
Yeah.
she was the free spirit grooviness. You were like, ethnic jewelry.
Ethnic White jewelry, blazers.
But really nicely, blazers with peplums. Like you had your like, you know what I mean? Like you had your look. And I think finally Cam, like we were like, where does Cam go? So they were trying to find.
Right.
And so the dress kind of was like, that kind of works. That okay. And I took it and ran with it because I had never worn a dress that tight in my life.
Right.
So I was like,
and you
yes.
look amazing. You should always wear them because you look amazing.
But I love that it would send you into a blind rain.
Well, sometimes I'd be like, what?
What is she doing?
Also, I remember one time you were wearing the most insane heels and the most insanely tight, crazy dress. You looked amazing. But I was like,
we're running.
They're like platform heel, like stiletto platform heels. And I was like,
why, guys?
I think you could wear a heel without the like platform. Like it was
the
just,
hooker. It doesn't need to be a hooker heel, guys.
A little bit.
By the way,
like,
it was noticed because we do have a section of questions that are about specifically that. I'm going to read because we've just talked about it. Coco Chanel. But it's Cinell. But maybe Chanel. The outfits. We must talk about the outfits. Cam is such an icon. Now the next question, Julie Jackson. How much did your feet hurt from slaying in those heels every day? Because you also people noticed you were in those.
That's such a kind thing to notice.
Nice?
You did have insane.
I did have insane heels, and believe it or not, I'm not Bunyan Jones behind those heels. I could have been
Bunyan Jones.
I was not. I did not become Bunyan Jones behind those heels. They taught me how to comfortably walk in heels. I'd never had much confidence. I was the one that was like, I'm going to trip down these stairs. I know if you give me heels, I'm going to trip down these stairs. I'm going to fall. I'm going to fall. So it actually, they weren't crazy. I always had slippers on to the side.
Yeah. And we had those. I think you had the same thing too, where we each had
equivalent,
boots that were more comfy, that would be the same height.
Exactly.
I know I had them. You had them too, right? Yeah.
Totally.
Like when
so
I would
once
wear
we were
heels,
off camera,
I would wear heeled boots a lot early on, and then and then I broke my toe, then I twisted my ankle, then I did all these things, and I was like, how about we just wear a flat boot?
That sounds good.
How about a flat boot with like that much of a heel? They had
kitten
the
heel,
secret.
as they say.
Oh, kitten heel.
I always joke that my that my autobiography would be called "Do You See My Feet?"
Truly, I love.
Because I'd always come in and be like, "Do you see my feet? Do you see my feet?" Because I could change my shoes to be the comfortable.
Oh my God, it's so true.
That still give me height.
Oh,
I do remember that.
Heat.
Yeah. Wait, can I ask this question because the question itself I don't know how to handle.
Okay.
A little bit. Alcyon, a little bit of Alcyon. She went from a ponytail to a fuck-ass bob.
I've just heard that term.
And I've never heard that before. And I want to know how that combo went down.
A fuck-ass bob,
I've never
I think,
heard
is a bob.
Is it the equivalent of
like your bob?
The bob?
I didn't know that. I don't know that
thing.
term.
So wait,
fuck-ass
bob is a phrase?
I just heard it.
Well, is it the short?
It's the shorter bob that like really goes right on your.
So it's
like a power
the equivalent
bob.
to this bob, which was in White Lotus.
I did not even know.
White Lotus. Everyone's like, oh, we love a bob.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So maybe this is the
nicer way.
Okay.
I like
up on this.
Can we say
lingo.
fuck ass? I love that.
We can say whatever
and
we
a fuck
want.
ass bob. So what was the question? Why?
Just what was the convo?
Wanna know-
You went from a ponytail to a fuck ass bob.
Went to a ponytail.
Want to know how that combo went down?
I think again in the search for
switching it up.
Yeah, kind of.
You
don't want
and you don't want everyone like you're
years.
looking at Michaela's hair is here, your hair, let me where we all I like the notion of character differentiation.
Yeah.
And I like that none of us look the same.
I mean, you look great in that bob. I love that bob.
That was fun. And
you can rock a lot of different hairstyles.
I think I went through a few. I went through a few. I could never do this one because it hair up for an autopsy.
Right.
And I think that's why the reason why I went for a bob,
part of it, right?
for the fuck ass bob, because it either needed to be up in a bun in order to do an autopsy, or if it was a bob, it wasn't getting in the way. It could just be a bob, which is why.
Yeah.
Patriots fan 122480. Were there other aspects of Dr. Saroyan's character life that you wanted to explore more? And I'm going to throw in there because I'm kind of curious about like the Aristu relationship.
I know, I have
stuff,
questions about that.
like, and kind of how that came about, and because I wasn't there for any of that, obviously, because if it was his episode, I wouldn't be there.
Yeah. Oh,
so I
yes,
don't really
you
know
weren't.
much about that.
There were actually. I kept on pitching to Hart. I think she should be incredibly flawed because she's so controlled at work and she's so
Right.
measured. And even like at the beginning, we lost the Zacharoni and the hodgepodge of it all.
That was so cute.
That was really cute,
and it
actually.
was a good way of like demonstrating that you'd kind of come in and
paid attention to people.
paid attention where Brendan does not.
Yeah.
And kind of
Well,
usurped a little power there, but
oopsie.
also like been ingratiated yourself.
That was
with
such a
the
cute moment when you
characters.
tried to, okay, Zacharoni, and he was like, please, you can't.
doesn't
work.
work.
It doesn't work. I knew it when it came out of my mouth. I was like, oh, it's nice to, that was lovely. But what I wanted to see was Cam be flawed. Beyond the obvious flaws that we got to see in the workplace. You know, she definitely kind of, it was a little shaky with the dating and, you know, things were a little sketcheroony, and she and Booth had their weird little moment, but that didn't last long. But and because we didn't get to see much of what happened outside of the lab, I wanted her to have like some kind of, obviously couldn't have been a gambling problem, but I wanted there to be something that she had that was out of control or interesting.
Right.
And I was
You're
like
struggling
with
Right.
that's quiet, and like maybe it's booze, maybe like something, and booze gets a little too heavy and a little too dicey, and then you got to introduce the whole recovery thing. So I was just like, can there be something that we're surprised by? Is she
Did they give you something?
They didn't. They couldn't.
Okay.
They did give me, like, Pej came in, and that was great.
Yeah.
But I was even like, let me listen to Tool while I'm doing an autopsy.
Right.
Like, let her, I want her to be a surprise.
Flawed. I mean, yeah.
Flawed and unusual.
And different surprises. Yeah, surprises
Surprising.
are interesting.
You know, instead of like
not the expected.
exactly
Yeah.
like that. Let her like Norwegian death metal or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Just something unusual that
Well, Sweets did.
Yeah, exactly.
gave that to Sweets.
We gave that. That's still one of my favorite episodes for real.
Which one?
I have not seen. It's the one where Sweets is like a fan.
Goes
of,
undercover.
yeah. Oh yeah. Does he go undercover?
I think he
But-
goes
Okay,
undercover
so
as
it's
a-
not
yeah.
like he was a fan originally. He just goes undercover as a death metal fan.
Yeah, because we knew something was wrong, and I still believe there's something wrong in the fields of Norway. They look crazy. I'm just gonna say it. The Norwegian death
heard it
metal.
here.
You heard it here first. I am officially terrified of them.
I know that would be nice to explore Cam and see some more of the. We got to see. You know, you adopted a daughter. You have Tiffany. Is that her name? Or is that the character's name or the actress's name?
That was the actress's name, but
I forgot
adopted a
about that.
daughter and got to find out that I had a guy. Did he get mauled by a tiger? He might have gotten mauled by a tiger. I'm not sure.
Oh, her dad.
Her dad, my ex.
Yeah.
I think something horribly strange.
I don't remember that.
Something horribly strange happened to him.
Oh, that's
And
that's
then I
unfortunate.
inherit. Yeah.
And then you had your daughter. You adopted her.
Yeah.
His daughter, his biological daughter. It wasn't your biological daughter, but
No.
it was your ex's. And then she got to date Michael B. Jordan, which is just
She got to date Michael B. Jordan.
you don't know.
He
this?
was on our show.
He was on our show.
No.
You
How
did
did I
know
forget?
this? You
Do you know
don't know
why?
this, Tamara?
Because he was so young that I probably
was a
would have
bebe.
felt super pervy even looking at him
Yeah.
that way. Pardon me, I'm sweating a little bit.
Wait, you
Michael B. Jordan was on our show.
forgot.
I forgot.
And
that.
and you dated him on the show.
No, Tiffany.
no.
Tiffany.
did. Oh, yeah. I was
Yeah.
like,
First
how
of all,
did you forget?
They gave her a much older daughter than she'd have in real life because
Yes.
she's
Yes, I
adopting
remember-
her. So
I
it was like
remember
a whole
that.
thing.
Okay.
But that happens in TV. I like, you can be 3 years older than your son. Like Kevin
Yeah.
Bacon's doing
And I
a
think
show
that-
where his mother is literally 3 years older than him.
Yeah.
In real life.
Ugh, that happens all the time.
They let us
especially
time
with women.
With women.
Yeah. And I
Not
think
with the
probably
guys.
Tiffany's probably older than the character. You know, it's all
for
of it,
sure.
You know,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, Michael B. Jordan was on that. He played her boyfriend. I'm pretty sure that's what the character was.
I don't think I did a scene with him. I
Yeah.
see. I did
I don't
scenes
know.
with.
I don't think I did either.
Who was the other squintern? Luke. that she dated for a second. He was
Finn,
really,
right?
Finn.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
I'm trying to think. I mean, is there anything you want to ask?
I mean, there's lots of things I still want to ask, but I will go with, what do you miss about Cam and what do you miss about Bones, the show?
What I miss about Cam, I missed her. She had a genuine appreciation. I missed her humor. She had an interesting, I don't know. It felt like Cam joined a family and just appreciated the hell out of watching you guys all do your craziness. She wasn't always involved in the craziness.
No.
But I really,
off camera she was.
Always.
Or you were.
Yeah, absolutely. But I miss that about her. Because she really, it's funny that was one of the first lines in the first episode I was in, was like, stick up for the team, David giving me, that advice. And Cam ended up truly loving her team, loving every single ridiculous, she got to know everyone's, little idiosyncrasies and just appreciated the shit out of all of them. Which I don't know, it was a joy to play. So I miss that part of her.
Do you miss the show? Do you miss working on the show?
Not at all.
Oh,
you guys,
no.
Oh, okay, no. The thing that now here's the amazing thing. We were walking up to ending the show was. It's wild because it was bittersweet. It was, everyone was exhausted.
Oh my God.
Everyone was exhausted.
Yeah.
And I don't think we really understood the impact it was going to have on us. I think we knew, but there's no way to, you just got to walk through it, But I remember TJ literally reminding us of every last, this is the last time we're going to, he was so good with that. Okay, this is the last time we're seeing Dwight. And we'd all go, okay, bye, Dwight. This is the last time we're going to see the autopsy room. And you just kind of go, the impact of that was ooh. So I think we were all quietly going,
yeah.
Wow, this is intense. This is our last, I remember the last platform. I was this is crazy. The last scene we're going to do in Brennan's office, just all of it. He was very, very well aware of who was leaving. This is the last time, and just the last time we're going to do this in Hodgen's room.
Well, and the set was being destroyed too.
Well, and the fact that and I wasn't there for the blow up, which was crazy. It was surreal that I was not there.
Oh, I didn't remember that. Yeah.
Which was weird to be away from you guys. So you guys got the impact of how emotionally horrific and strange it was to walk onto a destroyed set.
Walking onto the destroyed set was
weird,
crazy and emotional. I remember saying goodbye to you on the destroyed set.
Horrible.
And it was
weird.
It was so sad.
Yeah, it was sad. That made it feel, I don't remember being a part of the explosion or whatever the hell that was. But I know I was there.
You were there,
I guess, but I remember saying goodbye to you and other people in the destroyed set, and that was surreal to see that, and you're like, it's not coming back.
No, I know. That felt very tangible.
Yeah, and oddly perfect. Our goodbye was such an official goodbye.
Yeah,
and I was so grateful that TJ, the record keeper, made us aware of every last.
I didn't remember that he did that. I kind of remember being made aware of it, but I didn't remember it was TJ who did it.
It was one of us. It was usually TJ that would catch it.
No, I'm sure it was TJ.
So. I think I miss, I truly miss what we all had, because we grew up together. We literally grew up together.
Yeah,
met husbands together, had babies together. Not me, but you grew up.
Yeah,
lives
an
in such a
important period of adulthood.
Yeah.
Those 20s and 30s and
the pivotal moments where it's is this the guy? Is this guy? What do you guys think? Okay, girl, he said this to me, and we'd sit down in between takes. What do you think if someone approached you this way? Like, how much dating advice did I seek from you guys?
You had
how much dating advice did I seek?
I was saying,
it was a lot of all dating.
So we
talk
were talking about
from
this with
all of us.
Michaela, but like how we would have like different names for the different, not
The
their
code,
real names,
yes.
the code names. Did you not date someone called like Dance Shoes or
Yes,
something?
Jazz shoes.
Jazz shoes.
I just
I had
always remember that
jazz
'cause you would
shoes.
always get an image. Like I didn't know who you were talking about, but you would get these like images of these different people based on
Yeah, we were like,
jazz shoes.
how's
Yeah.
jazz shoes? How's ski suit?
Yeah.
Nothing minimizes a human being more.
Oh, I mean, I'm all for it though.
Amazing,
It was
exactly.
so good.
Thank
Well, you're not
goodness.
going to say the real name.
No, you
I loved it.
can't.
I loved hearing about
Oh.
all the different, I would come in and out and hear like where everyone's. We
And you're
saw
like,
each
oh,
other
that's so,
through,
and you're like, that's
marriages
done.
and
That one's
divorces and
done.
dating and I mean
everything.
wild.
Yeah. everything.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. And I love you guys. Also getting the best friend advice where you're like, okay, now we can tell you we always hated him. We always thought he was the wrong guy. We always thought he was the wrong. We got a wrong vibe immediately. And
Did
you're
not
like,
feel good.
did not feel good.
We rectified the
yeah.
situation.
You have to be careful
So
of that because
you do have to be.
sometimes
If they
people
get back
together.
together.
You guys were very diplomatic, but could finally say we never really did
right.
like him. We never really did
right.
like
Didn't
him.
really like
Yeah.
the vibe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just didn't catch one from him.
Yeah.
It just,
And I got that too. I remember like
I
breakup or
remember.
whatever. And then I remember saying it to Hart, and I thought Hart like loved this guy that I did. He's like, oh no, I never thought he was good for you. And I was like,
Oh, that's amazing! You get it after the fact. Again, like a father, like family. You hold it together, and then finally, oh, thank God!
Yeah.
Thank God.
His breath
He was
stunk.
terrible.
His breath stunk, and he had a horrible sense of humor. No, it's not that bad. But like, we would get the honest assessment after we had broken up, and then you would share in the joys of whoever the new one was.
Right. Right.
Jazz shoes. For
Speaking
instance.
of which, I feel like now I am devastated that I haven't seen you, but so once again grateful that this has brought us.
I'm so glad.
excited to see you today. But are you married?
I am.
I know that.
Yes,
Which-
yes,
Like
yes.
you said something like
is that
her
public
husband.
knowledge? Are we announcing this here?
You
We
know,
can cut
are
it out if you
announcing
don't
we're
want that.
breaking it here.
Is this new information?
No, I'm just saying it's not new. It's not new. Like you guys knew.
I
but-
know who. I
You
know who he is. I
is,
remember
exactly.
this relationship because
Yeah.
He's a good one.
We shared
Yeah,
a,
he's a good
a
one.
handyman.
We
at one
did,
point. So I
exactly.
remember stories of home lives and things like that. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
towards the end, but I did not know
And
that you
and
were
he
married.
showed up at like the
Yes,
very end.
I remember.
Like it was during season
Right.
12 or
Yes,
like late
Something
season 11.
like that. I don't
Maybe it was
remember
late
exactly,
season
but it
11.
was maybe late season 11.
Yeah, because he was around long enough that everyone
remember.
knew. Yeah, and
Well,
everyone was
yeah,
like,
wait.
"We like him."
I feel like it might have been season 11
Yeah,
somewhere in there.
I think so.
Because I remember.
Congratulations. I mean,
Yeah.
however long it's been, I hate that, like, that would be a thing I miss from the show. Is like, I don't get the updates anymore. I mean,
Well, no, you know what? Like, okay, so the cheese stands alone. I was like, hang on, these guys talk. I don't talk. I am like the last weirdo. I think I crawled under a rock during COVID.
Yeah.
Came out for maybe a month, got a bottle of like Pinot Grigio and crawled right back under the rock for a little while.
We zoomed.
We zoomed a couple of
few
times.
Yeah.
But like honestly, I feel so close to you guys, and like we've
Same.
shared so much.
Same.
It feels like we picked up. Like I saw you just yesterday.
Same.
And it's just funny that we don't call each other
I
every single day.
know.
it's funny, silly, and
it's
weird. And it's kind of like yeah.
When I saw you outside, it was like, I mean, I was so excited. But I also was like, there she is. There was no, I don't feel any like, once again, you look exactly the same.
Yep.
Which is
You guys are
almost upsetting to
kind.
me.
No, you guys do
but
actually. That's
but
hilarious.
I don't
With
feel like I
cool
haven't
hair.
seen you. Like I don't feel like I haven't seen you in 8 years. Like I don't feel
Have
that
you guys
way.
not seen each other?
Not
No.
at all.
And do you know who else I haven't seen is TJ.
No.
Oh no!
We've seen
That's
TJ.
a criminal. You and TJ, because you and
guys were
TJ
buds.
are the like
not.
the peanut gallery. Like you
Oh,
two.
we were the Giggle Twins.
Oh
the
yes.
Giggle Twins.
My
Could not keep
God.
it together.
I'm officially going to say it right now. I'm not usually the organizer. I am going to organize us getting
It
together.
has to happen.
We're just this
wanna
went too
chat
fast. Can I also
forever.
say I feel like I want to. I just don't even feel like I
want
scratched
more.
the
Thank you.
surface, which then leads me to like, will you come back?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Truly, I feel like I'm like, I want to know so much more about
the question is, will you get me off this couch? Because I will not leave. I may never leave.
They're
How about
going to
that?
shut the lights off.
Does that make it easier if I just don't leave here?
You just stay here.
Okay.
We'll circle back here.
Perfect.
I don't know,
couple
month
weeks?
or two.
Awesome.
I'll
just, you know what? Is that cool with you? Totally.
Yeah. You just say, it'll be a little weird because like
They're
every other
gonna be
podcast
recording other podcasts in here.
But Tamara will be.
I will be so out of the way, and I've got my own thermos of coffee. I should be fine. Yeah. Excellent. Yes,
you'll
I will
come back. Okay. Because I truly feel like I haven't even like, I am kind of so frustrated because I have so much more that I want to ask you about your experience on the show. Like 11 years. How do you sum up 11 years?
We can't.
So
you do it one little question and discussion at a time.
All right.
But thank you.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you. I'm so glad you guys are doing this. Just like, what a wonderful rediscovery.
Right?
You know, it's cool.
Thanks so much for listening to Boneheads.
If you haven't yet, now is a great time to subscribe to Lemonada Premium. You'll get bonus content like extras from our conversation with Jessica Cabshaw, who plays Booth's ex. Just hit the subscribe button on Apple Podcasts, or for all other podcast apps, head to lemonadapremium.com to subscribe. That's lemonadapremium.com.
Boneheads is a production of Lemonada Media and us. It's produced by Keegan Zema and Tiffany Bowie.
Our engineers are Brian Castillo and Noah Smith. Our senior vice president of weekly content is Steve Nelson.
Our executive producers are Stephanie Whittleswax, Jessica Cordova-Kramer, and us, Emily Deschanel and Carla Gallo. Music by Doug Paisley.
To stay up to date with us and submit your listener questions, follow us on Instagram at BoneheadsPod and at Lemonada Media on all social channels.
Follow Boneheads wherever you get your podcasts or listen ad-free on Amazon Music with your Prime membership.
Thanks so much for listening.